what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life, the crazy life that is cryptocurrency. What's good, guys? Good morning. It's a beautiful morning in my neck of the woods. Where I'm heading to is supposedly going to be like raining all day, but yeah, beautiful morning. I wanted to hop on here real quick and talk a little bit about a video I watched the other day from one of my favorites on YouTube, and that's the Modern Investor. So he did a video on, and he titled it, "How many XRP should one own?" Right? And he's done some videos kind of very similar to that, to other digital assets. But very, very interesting the way he laid things out. The video cut off at the end, and then he posted something somewhere about he's having some issues with his video recording or video software. But in any case, definitely go check out that video, and please subscribe to the Modern Investor if you haven't already. I'm sure most of you have. But interesting thing, he talked about the circulating supply. He talked about the 100 billion, then only a certain amount is actually circulating. 100 billion ever to be made. He talked about the rich list that owns 78% of the XRP. He talked about the burn rate, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on the burn rate. Like, I think they're sleeping on the burn rate and the fact that every single time XRP is used, it's being burned. One's being burned, right? So when you think about the burn rate, right, just keep that in mind. But he also said, so it was the rich list. It was, a certain amount of XRP owns that he believes is kind of an escrow, that he believes has already been allocated to certain institutions. You think about the partnerships, you think about the banks, the central banks, you think about 70 to 80% partnership with the banks in India. You think about what they're doing in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, in that area, and you factor in the burn rate for that. Now remember, banks and stuff like that, in of course this recent news about the FX and how, point of fact, XRP will be used, whether it be 3, 4, or 5 years from now, in the FX market. When you think about that and the trillions of dollars a day there, and you throw in the burn rate, because again, use and burn rate, right? So utility is awesome, because that helps, right, with the price. But the fact that there's a burn rate involved with that as well makes, in my opinion, unless I'm understanding this wrong, makes the value of XRP absolutely phenomenal if you hold it, right? So not only is it utility and use case, but the fact that the burn rate is always going to be there is significant. Which is why I always said that there'll have to be a price valuation or a price set in some way. Please don't tell me that they don't do it. They do it in other spaces, just like they do it with gold and oil. They do it. You just do your homework, and you'll find out that that is, in fact, a fact. So when you think about that, just to me, that sounds like, wow, right? XRP has massive value to it as a digital asset, right? Massive value. And you guys have been listening to this channel, guy. You're familiar. You've listened to the Modern Investor and the Digital Asset Investor and To the Lifeboat, Sam I Am, and CKJ Crypto News and Brad Kimes. You listen to these guys. You know, and hopefully you're doing your own homework in addition to listening to those guys. It's the greatest digital asset ever created. So, how much should you own? How much should one own? Right? So he said, strive. Everyone, he believes, should strive to own at least 1,000. Right? And then he says, before the video cut off, that a very good number is 10,000. So I'm going to leave that for you guys to kind of look at that. Please don't say how much you own, because people are listening, and bad guys try to do stuff to us average Jane and Joes, and we don't want that, right? So everyone should strive to 1,000. This is what the modern investor says. And a very good number is 10,000. Interesting thing. So you guys know my video, the last video I did, you know, it's a really interesting thing for me because I don't know why I'm battling with this whole idea of spending the XRP. Like, battling with that. And I don't know why. It's like, what amount of XRP? Like, here's the thing. How painful is it going to be? Is it going to be? And if it is, how painful? Like, is it going to be painful to sell at $10, at $20, $30, $40, $50, $100, $200, $500, right? You know, it's like, what is the amount of XRP? What's the dollar value that I would be good with and not be worrying about it, you know, so much? Oh man, like sold it at 10. Oh man, it's $20 in 3 weeks. Oh, you know, that type of deal. So I really don't know. And so I've really kind of gotten to the point. I haven't settled it in my mind and heart yet. So I've really gotten to the point now where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to own all these. I'm going to own a few other digital assets. And those are going to be my cash out ones until I'm good with some number for XRP. You know what I mean? And it's really becoming, it's really, for me, it's coming $100 or more is a number that I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. Cash out some, right? That type of deal. But, so that's kind of where I am. I wonder where you guys are. What is your cash out? Like, so I'm not getting rid of a half of an XRP. I'm not getting rid of any XRP until it hits at least this number. What's that number for you? I'm not getting rid of any of my XRP until it at least hits this number. I'm not even thinking about it until at least hits this number. So obviously for me, at least it's 10. Well, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, okay, cool. If I do this, that's the minimum is $10, not $1. $10. That's for me. What's your minimum number that you're even considering cashing out? Would love to hear that from you guys. Yeah, so still battling that. And I guess, like, you know, so right now I'm like, you know, I was talking with my girlfriend. She said, yeah, you know, you need to go ahead and get some more because I haven't gotten any digital assets. Well, one. In the last 3 months, no XRP, none. You know, I'm like, yeah, I got my number, I'm good. No XRP. And she's like, you know, you maybe need to start getting, you know, buying some more, you know, some digital assets, you know, whatever. So I'm looking at it now. I mean, it's 40-something cents. It's like, well, do I just put that money aside and wait till it, you know, gets to a different number, or get some now? I don't know. You know, but the other part of me is saying, like, the ultimate goal is to hold on, for me, the ultimate goal is to hold on to 95% of my XRP until it's at least $100. Like, I've just discovered that just now as we're doing this video. Like 95% of the XRP, like nothing until $100. Like, so if that's the case, if that's the goal, right, I could just kind of, you know, live the regular, you know, 6-figure income lifestyle and be good and not do anything. Or I could acquire some other digital assets and have, you know, and have enough of, you know, 2 to 5 other digital assets where I could, you know, cash out, you know, 5 figures to 6 figures. Whether it be in one digital asset or combination of, you know, 2 or more, you know, type of deal. So that's kind of the options. And it's great to have those options, right? And so I did a video, I think my last video, someone said something about what kind of homework did you do on VeChain or whatever, for an example. I personally think VeChain is a sleeper. I think it's a sleeper. And I think that they're going out and getting legitimate partnerships. And I think that the retail world is going to find out about VeChain no differently, or it's the same way that I did, right? You hear about the Bitcoin, and next thing you know, you're on. I'm not even going to mention the coin blank. I'm not even going to mention that. So you get to live coin watch. Next thing you know, you're clicking on stuff, and you click, and you can find out you can get to a website, and you can learn about all-time highs, right? So the same process that I went through to learn about other digital assets, people are going to do the same thing. The retail market is going to start flooding in, and they're going to learn about, for example, VeChain, right? And they, it's going to be, they're going to see all-time highs, right? And they're going to, maybe when they hop in, it's at 5 cents, or maybe when they hop in, it's at 10 cents. And they're going to hear about the Bitcoin people making all this money, the Ethereums and the XRPs. They're going to hear. And they're going to say, well, what's the thing that I can get into now that's less than 30 cents, 20 cents, less than $1? And I just think VeChain is going to be one of those sleepers, because you can look into it and see legitimate partnerships. And, the chain, the supply chain thing, there may be some competition there. But in my opinion, VeChain is in the top 3. And when you consider where it is now at a penny, it's very compelling. You guys have to do your own homework and do your own due diligence, obviously. But for example, let's say you do that and you have some VeChain. And let's say you have 50,000 VeChain, and it goes from 1 cent to 20 cents. It goes from 1 cent to 20 cents during the bull market. 20 cents that's 20 times your investment. 20 times. That's pretty good, right? So let's say you can get, I don't know, let's say you can get $10,000, right? You cash out, now you got 10 grand and BTC, whatever, and you do whatever you want with it. You see do you understand what I'm saying? That's pretty good. I don't know. You spent, I don't know how much it would take to get the 50,000 VeChain if it's at a penny. Some of you smart people probably know that number. 20 times your money is 20 times the money. And you could do some things with that. So in other words, if you can get 5 to 6 figures per digital asset and not have to touch the XRP, is my whole point to always rambling, right? If you could get 5 digits to 6 digits cash out per digital asset, and do that for, a year or 2 years, or if you have to, 3 years. If you have to. Before the XRP gets to that price that you're looking to cash out at. Instead of taking some of the XRP to get your 5 digits or 6 digits. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. So, because I just feel like if I could hold on to this XRP for 5+ years, again, just kind of live the lifestyle and cash out on these other digital assets to improve the lifestyle. To me, that's the better strategy. To me, because if we have a shot, and I believe we do, if you have a shot for generational income, complete change, if you have that shot, why not go for it? Why not? You know what I mean? And we do. And so I saw a tweet the other day. It says something like, and I don't know if it was Papagliano, I don't know if it was him or someone else, someone prominent in the digital asset space, and it said, actually, you know what? It wasn't. It was a young Bitcoin millionaire. He said that if you don't have $1 billion $1 billion. $1 billion. But by the time it's all said and done, in your digital asset career, you're screwed up. $1 billion, he said. $1 billion. And I have to agree. Because if you take an example of XRP, and let's say you get, I'm just gonna say $1 million. What are you gonna do with that $1 million? How much are you gonna spend on Lambos and madness, right? And how much are you gonna reinvest into the digital asset space if you're gonna do that? Like, what's the plan there? But I agree with that. Like $1 billion. And so for me, my greatest chance to get, you know, a good amount of dollars so that I could be reinvested and still have, the millionaire thing, like I tell people, that's done. What about the multi-millions, right? What about the tens of millions? What about the 9 digits, 9 figures? What about the 100 million, 200 million, 300? You see what I'm saying? I think about this guy, what's his name? Mike Novogratz. Now, this dude had money to go make some money, right? So he did some stuff, and he made tons of money, hundreds of millions, and I believe in Ethereum. But he had to have some money to put into this Ethereum. And at what price did he buy? I have no idea. I think it was $5 or $10, but I don't know. I think. So he put a lot of money to get that out, but I don't know how much he actually put. But that's what I'm talking about. Because the digital asset space is getting bigger, it's expanding, it's not contracting. It's evolving, and there are going to be new projects in different ways to make money coming out there. It's just going to get better. And in my point, you have to be in a position where you're cash rich, where you're right, you got liquidity, you got cash, so that you can take, I don't know, $100,000 and put it into this digital asset thing that you think is going to, I don't know, the next thing. But you got to be cash rich to do that. So that's the goal. And so my thing is, when I heard this young man say that, I'm like, yep, right. Why not go for that? This is what I'm saying. It's available. The digital asset space is. There's projects out there right now. Some people are on Hedera. They think that's going to be the next thing. Some people think it's going to be Holochain. So when you're talking about, for example, Holochain, that's less than a penny. You understand what I'm saying? There's a chance for that. But, if you own a certain amount and it gets to a certain amount, you could be good, right? Less than a penny. I don't know what Holochain is going to do. And I don't know what it's going to do during this next bull market. But I just think we're so blessed in this position to be able to, again, you could cash out on, for example, VeChain. You can cash out. What if you can cash out, 70% or 50% of it, and still hold it, still have some of it, but it's still netted you 5 figures. What if it still made you 10 grand? You know what I mean? So that's kind of the deal. That's the thing that I'm looking at. 2, 5, 6, 7 digital assets. Hold those. Cash out a percentage of each of those, and take advantage of what's kind of going on. Continue to live my life until that XRP gets to that $100 or more, where I'm willing to part ways with some of it. You know what I mean? That type of deal. know, because I didn't get into the XRP game at 5 cents and 10 cents and 1 penny. You know, I wasn't able to take advantage of that until it was 20 cents. You know, for me. So anyway, guys, that's kind of the deal there. I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that, but please, like, let me know what's your minimum. CJ, yo, I'm not even thinking about it until what number? Until what number? Don't get me wrong, I'll look at it when it's at 10, but I'm gonna look at it and me personally, I'm gonna look at it when it's $10 and be like, nah, I'd rather cash out on, let's see, let me pick something. I don't know. I'd rather cash out on Dogecoin. Yeah, I'd rather cash something out on that. You know, that's me personally. You know, I'm like, you know, I'm XRP for me. If I, you know, maybe 5%, but for me, you know, 95% of that I'm holding on to for a good long time. You know what I mean? And I'm not even messing around with that because why not? Because why not, right? When you don't have to take some money to pay, you know, your mortgage, then you don't have to take some money to pay your mortgage. You hold on to your digital asset. But if you got to do that, if you're in that position, then you have to do what you got to do. But my thing is, you know, take advantage of the market now. You know, listen, people are buying Ethereum and Litecoin now. Over $100. People, I mean, I'm talking money. They're buying Ethereum and they're buying Litecoin now. It's over $100. Litecoin's over 100. I don't even know what Ethereum is. Probably $180, $190. People are buying it now. People are buying it to get 8 to 15x. So when I see XRP at 40 cents, it's like, yeah, okay. Like, seriously. We know how blessed we are to be in the digital asset space this early, and when the retail world has no idea, where the masses have no idea what's going on. We're so blessed, guys. But let me know what you think. How much XRP would we, you know? I already asked you about the minimum before you would even consider it. What do you think about the modern investors? His premise. You know, strive for 1,000 XRP. A very good number is 10,000. What do you think about that? Crazy. Interesting. A very good number, he said, was 10,000. That's interesting to me. But anyway, guys, just wanted to hop on here real quick. Never ever forget this, guys. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. Old money wants us to remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know. The battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.